Firstly, the foreign delegates are in Sri Lanka from our neighbor, the historical brother India and Bangladesh, and all other delegates who meet us. Also Mr. Mahotra, whom I have spoken once or twice by Zoom on the relevant subjects, and I was Minister of Education. The ministry officials of NITA and other officials of the conference, our former secretary, and Mr. Gunawardne, our good friend, who is the driving force behind this summit, who continues to drive the early childhood education events and new ideas into the working arrangements across the country. Dear friends, it is an important moment that you all are with us, or we are with you. Both ways it's important. Exchange of ideas, exchange of development, exchange of achievements in relation to education is the most valuable wealth we can give our society and population. Societies can progress only on the basis of the strength and the wealth that they achieve through education. Therefore, this event in Sri Lanka, which we are coming to a closure today, as a minister who was associated with you all earlier, I am very happy that we had the chance of holding the conference here. Mr. Matra talked about the long queues that are seen visibly across the country and across our electronic media, taking the message even abroad. But your friends who have come with their own eyes, you see how lovely Sri Lanka is. Difficult times engulf us all, but difficult times have to be overcome. The strength of the people and the compassion people have to others, which India and Sri Lanka, Bangladesh all have committed historically for centuries and centuries. That is our achievement. That is the achievement that we have given to the world. India, there is Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and all of us in this region have approached life in a different manner, always committing and taking the cause through our compassion to others. The sacrifices we have made is immense. I would like to just mention two or three key areas. In early childhood education, there was a contribution, steps taken by our last budget, which gave an allocation for early childhood education in Sri Lanka to all registered early childhood centers. The allowances of some of them who were very meager were raised by the state allocation. As the subject in our country differs, except for the national policy, early childhood education has been for a long time in the trusted management of the private sector. Very much contributory, very much exemplary, bringing new ideas into early childhood education. There is also the subject in the legislative side in the hands of the local authorities, municipalities, urban councils and Pradeshiya Sabhas. In the acts, they have a responsibility in early childhood education. Where we are lacking, We are far behind on that. It has to be given a new impetus and new goals that could be brought in our national goal of achieving the sustainable development goals of the UN that we have all committed. Sri Lanka has been advancing on sustainable development goals. With all their problems, in the last report, Sri Lanka has advanced, which is especially in relation to participation of women in our countries, different political, educational, social and development, both in state and private sector. Now, how can we get a new approach to the early childhood education? Expanded, developed, and delivering what all of us expect, all of us dream of. I mentioned last time, children are the dream and the happiness of any society. The society's future, just like their parents. Parents also wish all what they could get and give for their children. But the certain allocations in the wealth and distribution of income, there are issues that we have to overcome. Therefore, certain amount of interference, both by the private sector and the state sector, is a necessity in this development world. In that aspect, I understand Mr. Mahatra as well as Mr. Patnaik from Bangladesh. I just heard your name. It sounds very familiar because Mr. Patnaik, the Chief Minister of Orissa, and Sri Lanka very close because Orissa, which is not in Bangladesh, Orissa is where our famous relic in Kandy, the Buddha relic, was brought from Kalinga days. Kalinga was part of the Bharat Desh. Of course, today we are in different countries. But Kalinga, from Kalinga, through Orissa came the tooth relic, which is worshipped for centuries and centuries in our country. And the annual pageant draws thousands of people, not only from India, from other countries to watch this. So our relationship to your countries, to your culture, to your work is very essential because it's held in trust. It's held in confidence. And it is an area where Sri Lankan people would like always to follow with devotion in many aspects. Therefore, in early childhood education, this summit, as well as the programs that have been conducted, by exchanging various experiences, various achievements in your countries and in your institutions, is a large contributory factor to our education of the early childhood. And I hope our institution, Mr. Kamalagodan, will take the initiative further, as mentioned with the state institutions, to see how we could get to the 5-year plan, as mentioned by Mrs. Jayasinha, how we could enhance into the areas that have been earmarked, planned, but not achieved yet. So, secondly, I was told that people were little, all foreigners were coming, were a little disturbed whether Sri Lanka had a difficult time at this time. Of course, we are having difficult times. We had, all of us had a difficult time. We went through COVID, unprecedented world setback. It set back not only human life, took hundreds of thousands of human lives, and it took also economies backward. Uphill task to all our countries has been the main reason of our return to normalcy. Pre-COVID world has gone. A new post-COVID world has to be built. Therefore, lifestyles have to change. But our achievements in education, achievements in various areas, in applying educational knowledge, has to keep going. Because knowledge creates, it develops, it multiplies, it helps societies to advance. So the post-COVID era is different. We have to adapt to the new norms and new standards as well as new expectations. One, I would say, are the setbacks in economic and social issues. Bangladesh has been to our help, which I want to mention at this moment. Sri Lanka has been given all possible assistance in monetary and financial areas by Bangladesh and the Prime Minister and the government. India has been helping us in the crisis of COVID. After COVID, in the present crisis, in many aspects, the Indian support and assistance has given Sri Lanka's economy a lot of strength and confidence to plan and come out of this crisis that we are facing today. To be realistic, it is a crisis that each country has in different forms. Each country is going through different forms of problems because of the post-COVID situation across the world. It is not the same as before. The banking sectors, the IT sectors, the transportation sectors, international trade, and human capital development and possibilities of traveling, all are facing different challenges. I hope all these aspects will also be considered by the institutional heads who are here. There are institutional heads and Sri Lankan institutional heads who are participating. Will also contribute the experiences that we are going through, and I don't want to take much time, and very much appreciative for giving me the chance of coming and joining you on, Mr. Gunawardne, Mr. Mahotwa, as you mentioned a few months ago, that you plan to come in June, but we did not plan to have queues for you in June. But Sri Lanka still remains a beautiful land that all of our you all will come once again, as mentioned, in 2023 with great achievements. And Sri Lanka's achievement contribution into the child education sector. I, as Minister of Local Government, I was just mentioning to Mr. Mahotwa, will guide as many of the local government institutions to abide by and to join in these efforts of early childhood development in education across the country. I wish you all success and come again to Sri Lanka. I would say namaste. Salam alaikum.